Welcome back to Untold Pain Stories, the channel where we share emotional, inspiring and unforgettable stories while helping you improve your English through storytelling. Today I am going to share a beautiful and emotional story about a girl named Clara from Washington, D.C. This is not just a story about one girl's life. It is a story about fear, dreams, struggles, courage, and the power of believing in yourself. Many people look at successful people and think their lives are easy. They see the confidence. They see the achievements. They see the smiles. But they do not see the difficult nights, the silent tears, and the battles those people fought before reaching that point. Every person has a story, and sometimes the strongest people are the ones who had to fight the hardest battles. My name is Clara, and I live in Washington, D.C. When people meet me today, they see someone who speaks confidently, shares her ideas, and believes in herself. But years ago, I was completely different. I was a shy girl who was afraid of being noticed. I was afraid of making mistakes. I was afraid of people judging me. And the biggest fear I had was believing that maybe I was not good enough. I grew up in a simple family. My parents were hardworking people who always taught me that a person's value is not decided by money, appearance, or success. They believed that kindness, honesty, and courage were the most important things in life. My mother always told me, "Clara, never forget that your heart is your biggest strength." A good person can overcome many difficult situations. Those words stayed with me. As a child, I loved reading books. Books were my escape. Whenever I opened a book, I felt like I was entering another world. I learned about different people, different places, and different dreams. But there was one thing that always made me nervous: speaking English. I could understand English. I could read. I could write. But when it was time to speak, my confidence disappeared. I remember sitting in my classroom and watching other students speak easily. They answered questions. They shared their opinions. They talked without fear. And I stayed quiet. Sometimes I knew the answer better than anyone else, but I still did not raise my hand. Not because I did not know, because I was scared. I thought, what if I say something wrong? What if people laugh at me? What if they think I am not smart? Because of that fear, I missed many chances. I wanted to speak. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to share my thoughts. But fear was stronger than my confidence. One day, my English teacher noticed that I always stayed silent. After class, she called me and asked, "Clara, why do you hide your thoughts when you have so many good ideas?" I looked down and said, "Because I am afraid my English is not perfect." My teacher smiled and replied, "Clara, nobody becomes perfect before they start. People become better because they practice." That sentence changed my life. For the first time, I understood that mistakes were not something to be ashamed of. Mistakes were proof that I was trying. From that day, I decided to work on myself. I started practicing English every day. I listened to conversations. I read stories. I learned new words. I tried speaking even when I felt nervous. The beginning was not easy. Sometimes I forgot words. Sometimes I made sentences incorrectly. Sometimes I felt like I was not improving. But I continued because I realized something important. Small progress is still progress. Slow growth is still growth. Every day I was becoming a little stronger. The girl who was once afraid to speak started finding her voice. The girl who avoided conversations started sharing her opinions. The girl who doubted herself started believing in herself. I learned that confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after you take the first step. But my journey was not only about learning English. Life had many more challenges waiting for me. After completing my studies, I had many dreams. I wanted to build a meaningful life. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to prove that a person's beginning does not decide their ending, that dreams are never achieved without challenges. There were times when things did not go according to my plans. There were moments when I faced disappointment. There were days when I felt tired and wanted to stop. I looked at other people and thought, why is everyone moving forward while I am still struggling? Sometimes I compared my life with others. I thought everyone had a perfect journey. But later I learned the truth. Nobody has a perfect life. Everyone has struggles that people cannot see. Some people hide their pain behind a smile. Some people hide their fears behind success. Everyone is fighting a different battle. My mother once told me, Clara, never compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 10. Those words changed my thinking. I stopped focusing on where others were. I started focusing on where I was going. I began improving myself every day. I learned new skills. I met new people. I stepped outside my comfort zone. And slowly I started becoming the person I always wanted to be. As time passed, Clara started understanding something very important about life. The difficult moments she faced were not there to destroy her. They were there to prepare her. Every challenge was teaching her something. Every failure was making her stronger. Every mistake was helping her grow. One evening, Clara was sitting near her window in Washington, D.C. The city was full of lights. People were walking on the streets. Cars were moving. Everyone was busy with their own lives. She looked outside and started thinking about her journey. She remembered the little girl who was afraid to speak. She remembered the girl who thought everyone was better than her. She remembered the moments when she wanted to give up. And then she smiled, because she realized how far she had come. The problems that once made her feel weak had actually made her stronger. The fear that once controlled her had taught her courage. The mistakes that once embarrassed her had become her lessons. Clara understood that life does not become beautiful because there are no problems. Life becomes beautiful when we learn how to face those problems. A few years later, Clara started helping other people who were also struggling with English. She started sharing her own experience with them. She told them, I was once afraid too. I also made mistakes. I also thought I was not good enough. But I continued, and you can continue to. Many students connected with her story because they saw themselves in her. They understood that they were not alone. They realized that learning something new takes time. Clara always told them, do not wait until you are perfect. Start with what you know and improve step by step. She believed that everyone had a voice. Sometimes people only need someone to remind them that they are capable. One day, a young student came to Clara and said, Before meeting you, I thought I could never speak English confidently. But your story gave me hope." Those words touched Clara's heart. At that moment, she realized something beautiful. The struggles she once wanted to forget had become the reason she could inspire others. Her pain had become her purpose. Her fear had become her strength. Her journey had become a lesson for someone else. Clara learned that success is not only about reaching a goal. Success is also about the person you become while chasing that goal. Today, Clara still continues learning. She still faces challenges. She still discovers new things, because she knows that growth never stops. A person who wants to improve must always be willing to learn. And this is the lesson for everyone watching this story, especially for those who are learning English. Do not be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teachers. Every new word you learn matters. Every sentence you practice matters. Every time you try to speak, you become better. Maybe today you feel nervous. Maybe today you think your English is not good enough. Maybe today you compare yourself with others. But remember Clara's story. She was once a girl who was afraid to speak. She was once someone who doubted herself. But she kept going. And one day, the thing she feared became the thing she was proud of. Your journey may be difficult today, but difficult does not mean impossible. A small step every day can create a huge change in your future. Never underestimate yourself. Never believe that you cannot improve. The person you want to become is waiting for you. You just need the courage to begin. Because every successful person has a beginning. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every expert was once a beginner. The difference is simple. They did not give up. Clara's story teaches us that our past does not control our future. Our struggles do not define us. Our actions do. Our patience does. Our courage does. Sometimes the hardest chapters of life create the strongest versions of ourselves. So keep learning. Keep growing. Keep believing. Because your story is still being written. Thank you for listening to Untold Pain Stories. If you enjoyed this emotional English learning story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories that help you improve your English naturally. See you in the next story.